Welcome to Tity Talks. There seems to be a gap between the amount of time that I take to put out videos, and I'm working on it. I promise I'm trying to be a better YouTuber. But man, it's been a year, it's been a crazy year, I think, collectively for everybody. 2020 keeps on 2020ing. It's ridiculous. We really can't catch a break. But life has been really crazy. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching this video, I want to just take a moment to say thank you for tuning in and coming into this space with me. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? Are you taking care of yourself? Hopefully you are connecting with loved ones and you're being kind to yourself. I hope that you are just showing up every day. Time always moves forward eventually, so just keep showing up, keep breathing, and we're gonna hopefully get through this shit together, because it's been a wild ride. If you've interacted with me before on social media, you know that I'm a little bit of a clown. I like to crack jokes and make skits and make people laugh. And the hope is that by making you laugh, I can, create a space where you feel comfortable and you feel like, you know what, I kind of trust this person because she's a little bit funny. So, the hope is that by making you laugh, I kind of at least grab your attention a little bit and you decide to kind of interact with me on a deeper level, and we can delve into some other topics. So that is always my hope and my goal with my platform and my interaction. So, I like to laugh, I like to have fun, I like to be goofy. And then, I also like to talk about things that matter to me, things that I kind of are just like on my heart, Today, I just kind of want to talk about a couple things that have been on my heart real quick. And it's a little bit of a difficult topic. I want to talk a little bit about grief, and then I want to talk about weight. And there are two completely different topics, but you'll see for me like why it all ties in. About 2 months ago, I lost a family member. My aunt transitioned into, the spiritual world about 2 months ago. And it was the most sudden and abrupt thing, one of the hardest things I've ever had to really deal with as an adult. There's really no warning when you lose somebody, especially the way that I lost my aunt was, a regular day. And I distinctly remember the exact day, the exact moment, and my uncle called me, and, your mind kind of goes into these moments of, you assume everything's all right. You assume everything's gonna be fine. And she ended up obviously not making it and passing away. So I remember dropping everything and going to my mom's house and being there for her. And so it's still, pretty fresh. It's been, like I said, 2 months, and it's this weird illusion of time where it feels like it's been so much longer. It feels like it's been a damn year, but then it also feels like yesterday. I remember every single thing that I felt in that moment, and also the numbness, and also the sheer shock that you feel when you lose somebody. So, but I think what I really want to focus on, besides just, the grief of it, was there are so many other factors that people don't really realize. And for me, I felt so out of control. I lost control. And there was just so many things that I didn't have rain on anymore. You know, as a result of the grieving process, as a result of all these things, I actually gained so much weight. I, you know, was just not really taking care of myself the way I had been. And it's, you know, obviously understandable and forgivable, but you know, you get to this element of, wow, what do I really have control over? You know, I am in this spiral of grief and I'm gaining weight, and you just take it out on yourself. You feel so, you know, I just felt so angry with myself and so angry in general, and so many emotions. And, you know, of course the grieving process is so different for everybody. But I think one of the major things that I noticed was, you know, not really giving myself the grace of, you know, this is a traumatic event. And, you know, you also have to still figure out how to function and figure out how to continue to eat healthily, drink your water, take your vitamins. Like, there's so many things that you forget about, and it's hard because you're grieving. So I think, you know, one of the things that I really wanted to talk about was just grace, and giving yourself that grace in terms of, you know, your weight, in terms of all of these other things that fall out of line whenever you're going through something traumatic. I think that we so closely monitor things like our weight, and, you know, of course you should take care of yourself and be healthy, and, you know, that's a part of showing up. But also, you know, I think we don't give ourselves enough credit. You know, this body, I wake up in it every day. There are so many things that our bodies do for us. And so we forget that it's not just a physical thing. It's not just an outward appearance that our bodies have. It's also all of these other functions, you know? So I kind of got to a point where I was like, if I gain some weight, that's okay, you know? If I am, you know, if it takes me a little bit longer to get back into my routine, I can't continue to punish myself for that. You know, especially when I'm carrying the weight of all of these other things that are happening in my life. The world is going through so much transformation right now. And so I think we just forget to be mindful of those things, because there's a certain way that we want things and a certain way that we see, you know, ourselves showing up every day. And so it's difficult. But, you know, I think that grief comes in so many different forms. Whether you're grieving a person, you could be grieving loss of income, you know, if you've lost a job, or if you're struggling to find a job in this, you know, pandemic and economy and, you know, whatever else is going on. Like, we're grieving so many different things. So whatever it may be that, you know, you're grieving, I just want to say, give yourself grace, give yourself leniency, kind of give yourself a lot more love. And it's difficult. It's so hard. Just let that fire truck go by. Anyways, but, you know, it's so important to be able to meet ourselves where we're at, and really kind of understand the magnitude of all of the things that we're going through in this moment. I think that looks different for everyone, but also in the same way, you know, just being more loving towards yourself, more kind, and showing up for yourself every day. Sometimes you kind of just lose sight of your motivations, of your end goal. At the end of the day, we're here, and every day that we wake up, every day that we're still here is a purpose in and of itself. So, you know, don't lose sight of the fact that you're still here. You're here for a purpose. regardless of if you know what that purpose is or not. For me, showing up for myself means continuing to practice my joy on a daily basis, even on the days where, you know, I'm sad or I don't feel like showing up. In order to protect your joy, you have to practice it daily. In a grieving process or in even just living your life on a daily basis, you have to allow all of the range of emotions to happen. You know, I'm not saying to not feel your sadness or not feel your anger or not feel your frustration. Feel all of those things, but, you know, find ways to show up for yourself and protect your joy. For me, I like to make people laugh because I feel like if I could make somebody's day a little bit lighter, then, you know, I'm contributing to, I guess, them feeling like they're in a better space. Or, you know, if I can just be myself and be authentic to who I am, then I create space for other people to feel comfortable enough to do the same thing. So, you know, the way that you show up for yourself looks so different. There's so many different ways for you to show up for yourself, but don't stop doing that. And hopefully, you know, this is a reminder that, you know, even in our darkest moments, we're still gonna be provided some sort of clarity. And I hope that you feel that way too. I hope that you always see that there's going to be a resolution. There's going to be a brighter day on the other side. You know, tomorrow's always another day. And so, you know, to acknowledge grief weight, to acknowledge the extra rolls and the extra LBs and the extra, you know, stretch marks or whatever, what have you, that come with these, you know, processes in your life, these things that happen to you. I would just say, you know, be more lenient, be more loving. And I don't want to imply that, you know, gaining weight is a negative thing. However, for me, I'm just kind of expressing, you know, all of the emotions that I went through, all of the things that happened with gaining grief weight, I would call it. Losing someone and grieving, it never gets easier. It never really gets to a point where you're like, I'm done. Like, we're good. You know, I'm done grieving. Like, it kind of really comes in waves. And there's days where I wake up and I'm like, you know, oh, let's do this. Like, this is great. And there are days where I wake up and it's just, I wallow in it and I'm sad and I miss this person and I, you know, am upset or I'm confused. There's never really like a switch. It's kind of taking on those waves as they come and processing your emotions and really understanding, you know, what those feelings are and really understanding how that fits into every day, how that fits into your life. So like I said, you know, I don't think we ever stop grieving a loss or grieving losing someone. I think we just learn how to live with that loss. So with all of the factors, everything that's going on right now, if you know you're grieving or if you've endured a trauma, which, you know, I think people don't even realize sometimes that they're grieving. So with all of these factors, you have to really go above and beyond to take care of yourself and to really, you know, show yourself that extra mile of love because you deserve it and you need it. Do those things that are going to fill you with joy. Do those things that are going to re-energize and recharge you and not constantly drain you of your energy. Being mean to yourself is not the wave. We are leaving that behind. You know what I'm saying? This has been a hard fucking year for everybody. If there's any type of success in your life, you should celebrate that. Any type of achievement that you've been able to get through in this year, celebrate that. And even if that's just showing up for yourself, that is an achievement. That is success. You know, we're all trying to really figure this shit out, but I hope it makes you feel better that we're all going through it. Like, I think there's not one person that I talk to on a daily basis where, or, you know, see what they say where I'm like, wow, like, you know, that person's really going through a lot. So at the end of the day, we will be okay. You know, you're gonna make it through. You're gonna push through. You just have to keep breathing, keep showing up. Like I said, joy is an act of rebellion. Just existing in your joy every day is an act of rebellion. So thank you for joining me in today's Tity Talks. You know, it's just something that I wanted to get off my chest. And, you know, I hope you felt what I was saying. I hope you got something from it, if it was even one thing. I'm trying to craft my, you know, platform and craft my YouTube and all of these things that I want to do into something that can carry me, you know, into what I want. So I appreciate any and all feedback, as long as it's constructive and you're not like, damn bitch, you was just talking the whole time. No, I appreciate if you took the time to watch this. You know, I'm grateful to you, because that means you took a moment to exist with me in this space. So, you know, I fuck with you. I appreciate you. And thank you for tuning in. And until next time, this has been Tity with another Tity Talks. And, you know, I love you, and I hope that you are showing up for yourself, maintaining your joy, laughing a little bit, you know what I'm saying, here and there, crack some jokes. And I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Tity out in this motherfucker.